And this, there you go. Thanks, Chris. And these recordings will be available on the Mindfulness Center of Atlanta website for you to watch again if you care to. And there's also resources there. If I make reference to a study or use a poem or anything like that, those resources are also on that page. So we've been in February, the month of February, we've been reflecting on love. It's a good month to do that. Any month is a good month to do that, but especially February. And so in the past 2 weeks, we talked about first the importance of love of self. And then last week, we talked about love of others. And today, I'd like to spend a few moments talking about love of nature. Um, we're all part of nature, whether we realize it or not, or engage in it very much or not. For some of us, we can spend our days passing through the natural world without ever giving it very much attention. Today, when I headed out for my morning walk, I paused in the yard and stood in front of the cherry tree that was given to me and given to the earth by a small group of friends to mark the death of my father. That was 3.5 years ago. And today the tree thinks it's spring in Atlanta as it greeted me with its nearly full blooming cherry blossoms. I stood there for a few moments just taking it in. And a lot happened in that brief moment of pausing in front of that tree. The beauty of the early morning light, the energy of life blooming, the awareness of the passing of time, and the sense of impermanence. These are just a few of the lessons that nature can teach us if we bring mindful awareness to noticing it, especially if we do so with an open heart and mind. So I want to introduce to you a meditation that engages 3 different aspects of the natural world. And I'll take a few minutes now to set up the meditation and then give you an opportunity to go and practice. We'll have some time at the end to share our experiences as well when we come back into the room. The 3 aspects are the earth or ground, the sky, and a tree. And I'll first describe each of those aspects just a little bit, and then we'll have this opportunity to experience them directly as a meditation practice. So first, let's consider the earth or ground. And I'll just mention a few things to kind of stimulate our awareness and appreciation of these aspects. And as we know, the earth is fully alive, but when you really look into what that means in terms of the ground itself or the soil, that 1 gram of soil, that's like a quarter of a tablespoon, can harbor up to 10 billion organisms in it. That's more than the number of people living on the planet. And it's estimated that more than half of all Earth species, all different species, half of them live in the soil. So we know that soil is food and it's medicine, that 95% of food production relies on the earth. So the earth is full of life and it nourishes life. But not all of the earth is very healthy. Soil degradation has been speeding up. It's said that 1/3 of the world's soil is moderately to highly degraded, threatening global food supplies, increasing carbon emissions, and foreshadowing mass migration. So let's take a moment just to get in touch with the wonder and the struggle of the earth and the generosity that it exhibits in giving us life. For meditating on the earth, the suggestion in a few moments is to go outside if you're able, or if inside, just taking off your shoes and walking slowly on the earth. Pause and feel the solidity of the ground and become aware of your own ground of being. And then perhaps stand still for a while or sit down on the earth, lie down or kneel down and touch the ground with your hands, your feet, your whole body. Press into it and feel the ground pressing back into you. And let the energy of the earth remind you of the same energy that's in you. And let there be in you a sense of appreciation and care for the soil. The next aspect to reflect on is the sky. We need the light of day and the darkness of night to sync up with our own life rhythms within our system. And there's this deep connection between us and the sky, which directly correlates with our overall health. Exposing your eyes to just enough sunlight allows you to receive the little photons that traveled some 93 million miles from the sun to arrive directly to your retina. Those life-giving rays of sunshine stimulate the brain, kicking off genetic, hormonal, and neurotransmitter-mediated processes that affect the activity of the brain and nearly all other cells in the body. A disruption to that, like excessive late-night blue light emitting from our screens, suppresses melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep or to stay asleep. So getting in step with the rhythm of natural light is important to overall physical and psychological health. For meditating on the sky, the suggestion is to go outside or look out a window, look up at the sky and mindfully breathe in and out. Look deeply, allowing the light to interact with your eyes, being careful not to look directly into the sun. But let your breath be in sync with the movement of the sky, allowing your mind to be like the sky, wide open, expansive, free from judgment and worry. And becoming aware of the changing nature of the sky, including the movement of the clouds, the passing birds, and anything else that emerges. As you observe the changing sky, notice that you too are ever changing. And the third option to reflect on is a tree. Remembering that trees release carbohydrates into the ground through their root systems to provide soil, microbes, and fungi energy in the form of sugars. Fungi intertwine with the tips of tree roots to form these underground networks that seem to benefit both the fungi and the trees. Research has hinted that these connections can extend between trees, letting one tree transfer resources below ground to another tree. Some scientists even argue that trees are cooperating in a vast symbiotic relationship, with older trees passing resources to seedlings and nurturing them as a parent might. For meditating on a tree, the suggestion is to go outside or to look out a window, find a tree, start by just looking at it. If you're able, touch it, lean on it, inhale it. And as you touch the tree and breathe its scent, remembering that all things are connected and that you too are one with the tree, with all things. And experience this exchange of life-giving air between you and the tree. Two beings, one breath. Trees absorbing the carbon dioxide that we emit, and then oxygen that we absorb from the tree. So now I invite you to actually go outside if you're able to and engage with the environment, or stay inside and engage with the environment by maybe going near a window or looking at maybe something, a variation on a tree, say a plant that's in your room. And we're going to take 10 minutes. And you can either kind of scroll through each of these aspects, earth, sky, and tree, or just choose one. And you keep time for yourself, 10 minutes, set on your watch or your phone. And when your timer is up, just silently return to your seat silently here in this virtual room, where we'll then sit briefly together, absorbing the experience. And then we'll have a little bit of time for sharing our experience. So feel free now to go and select a space that's either outside or indoors, and and just watch the time or set a timer and come back in 10 minutes. All right. And we'll see you then. As we are arriving back, if you went off somewhere, let's just take a couple of minutes just to settle back into a seated position and maintaining that present moment awareness. Perhaps allowing what you observed in the natural world to support you in this seated position. Cultivating this open-hearted, open-minded presence, moment by moment. Here's a poem by Wendell Berry entitled The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in her beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free.